It's not been 24 hours. Have you thought out yet? Has the team thought out yet in terms of playing in the coldest professional hockey game on record?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Sam, it was cold, obviously, but it was warmer for us than it was for Iowa because we won. If we had lost in overtime, it would have been a little bit, made everything a little bit worse, but we won, so everyone's a little bit happier. But it was cold, but we knew it was going to be cold, and so you took steps to help alleviate that. But at the end of the day, -8 degrees is -8 degrees. I don't care how many hand warmers you have or, how many face masks you're wearing, it's still cold.
I imagine, hockey players are tough as nails. So there's an element to well, like, yeah, of course we're going to play, but how do these guys deal with that extreme cold when they're, just racing around for these shifts? But also, I have to imagine sweating gets a little complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you may not sweat, or when you do sweat, it freezes right away. But um, the Hockey Day Minnesota, which put this event on, and this was held at the United Heroes League up in Hastings, Minnesota, they did a really good job of making sure we got a lot of heat on the benches. And so on the bench, there were three massive heaters on there to make sure guys on both ends and the middle were okay. So the guys that were the worst were the goalies who were actually playing in the game. And so they have I was actually talking to our goalie Matt Murray about this before, like the foam padding in his helmet was frozen. So like there was nothing there. His glove, he couldn't use his glove to catch because it was getting frozen. And like the straps on the back of his leg pads, elastic, well, there was no more elasticity in them because they were so cold and they would get a little bit of sweat on them and then they're frozen. So it was like that was a big issue. I'd say the biggest one. But our equipment staff, they had feet warmers, the ones that go like are made specifically for your feet that go inside your shoes or your skates. So that helped. All the guys wore face masks over your ears, everything like that. So it was obviously it was very cold. But if you were moving around, that you were better. But that's why no one took penalties. There weren't very many penalties called because no one wanted to sit in the box. It was double punishment if you did.
I'm curious too, how does the intermission change when you're maybe racing inside to get to the warmth and just kind of hang out versus what? Pounding snacks, maybe taking your pads off versus a normal
Yeah,
game?
for sure. And obviously the facilities are a little bit different, so they're not quite the same as we would have here. And so we don't have as much space either. So like down here at Panther Arena, yeah, guys go in, but they go and do whatever, like they, might stretch or something like that. But here we don't have a lot of space. Everyone just can go in there and sit, which is probably what they want to do anyway, just to warm up. But the intermissions were actually usually our intermissions are 18 minutes and we shorten them to 15 just so the game, everyone involved with the game, it would just be a little bit shorter. Not that's, 6 minutes is going to be the end all, but any little bit helps to, so we can kind of get out of there or get warmed up a little bit quicker.
It's one game, but I have to imagine the celebration felt pretty good for everybody involved in terms of, okay, if you're going to endure that cold for that long, like you said, at least you win.
Yes, that was our coach said that right from the start. It's like everything is better when you win. So we're coming up here, we're here to enjoy this moment and to take it all in. But at the end of the day, we're here to win, and winning will make everything better, especially when it's -8 degrees outside.
And then so coming back today, I'm curious, what time did you guys make it back, and how easy is it going to be to flip the switch to get back there and play a game just, indoors?
Yeah, I think it's gonna there's gonna be a natural down low. They're gonna come down a little bit from that high from winning and playing outside and just this unique experience. But we are playing Iowa again, and both teams hopped on a bus after the game last night and got into Milwaukee about 2 a.m. between 1:30 and 2 a.m. So they have to they're used to this though, right? We're used to playing back-to-back nights in different cities. Now, obviously, we're not playing in an outdoor in such a unique circumstance. But they are paid to be able to put things behind them and to focus on the here and now. And that's what we have to do because again, last night was worth 2 points in the standings. Tonight's going to be worth those same 2 points.
And then what can you say about Aaron Sims? We saw the video posted to social media of him just being a warrior out on the bleachers, it looked like, and calling this game perhaps the truest way he could.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't even know. Aaron is the best. We know that in Milwaukee. His calls are infectious. He creates fans for us with his enthusiasm. You want to be enthusiastic because of Aaron. And, uh, you know, we see the way the kind of the tent that they put us in to try and keep us a little bit warmer. It just wasn't going to work out from his perspective. So he did have to stand outside, but it's really remarkable what he did, that he could actually talk for basically 3 hours, that his face didn't freeze. And it was really a testament to like his commitment, his dedication to the team, that he didn't just, if he had come in there after a period and was like, I'm just not doing this, I don't think anyone would have blamed him. But that's not who Aaron is. He would never have done anything like that. He was ready to go right from the hop, and his enthusiasm, you hear it on the call of the game-winning goal. His enthusiasm was the same as if we had just done that same thing here at Panther Arena.
And then lastly, you talked about the goalies dealing with the freezing, the changes to the helmets, and again, everyone trying to avoid penalties because they didn't want to sit there for 2 minutes. But on the ice, I'm curious, maybe with the puck too, did it play differently at all being outdoors versus indoors?
Yeah, you know what? The pucks that are frozen when we play a normal game, so they don't bounce. But that here they never became unfrozen, so they're a little harder, right? So they don't you can't accept a pass. They bounce over the stick, they hit the stick and go a little farther. And the ice is more brittle. And so what I think you would see a lot more of is that it kind of like a wet field in football where the receiver is going to make fake one this way, and the defensive back or the defensive player can't react as well. And that's what we saw too, is that the defenders in the hockey game would fall a lot more, or not, maybe not necessarily fall, but they couldn't dig their skates in quite as well to react to a player making a move. So we saw, I thought, a lot more possession by the teams than we usually do in a game, because those guys, they had to change the way they defended a little bit, keep everything on the perimeter more than going in for a check or something like that. So yeah, the ice was definitely harder and made things a little bit more of a challenge out there.
I think that's about all I have. Is there anything else that you would like to say that I did not touch on?
No, I don't think so. It was like all in all, yeah, it was -8, but it was every one of our guys was like, this was awesome. It was so much fun. We had a blast. So, really thankful for the opportunity, and hopefully we can do it again in temperatures that are maybe about 30 degrees warmer.